Yo, this is T Duff from WTNUphilly.com, the community unity station where independent artists get their music played. You heard me?
Welcome to Blunts in the Basement. 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 Blunts in the Basement, first placement. 5L rotation, passing, adjacent. So high, make you wonder where the bass went. A good light, then good night, your face went. To the pillow with table, ready, willing, and able. Supreme team, no need for replacement. Welcome to Blunts in the Basement. 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 Gang war and six pack, don't get your shit smacked. Don't bring no ride with your lie. We done did that. It's time to kick back, smoke on that loud pack, roll a L up and spark the hell up. Did you get that? Welcome to Blunts in the Basement. 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 Welcome to Blunts in the Basement.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
We back.
Yes,
I'm telling you, see, we switching the pitch up on y'all. We gonna stay consistent. Dropping it. You know what I mean? We putting our brick in, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's time to put your brick in.
Because at the end of the day, we do love y'all, the people that's watching, the people that's listening. You know what I mean? This is for you.
That's right. And we got a good brother to put a brick in today.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
We go back way back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking this shit go back to like, this shit go back to the 80s, dog.
Late 80s, I met you. We probably knew each other early 80s.
Yeah.
We got the same St. Catholic school connection, St. Rose,
No,
St. Francis.
but we got cool in like the late 80s.
Yeah, because
like
I used
88.
I used to always meet you down
the
40th
gallery?
Street, the
Oh,
gallery
40th Street,
first.
yeah,
I used to
yeah.
see you in the gallery because you used to work in the gallery. We was friendly, but we got cool because I used to run into you all the time at the arcade on 40th and Spruce.
Yeah, that was my
Not
shit.
only was that a meeting place, it was a crack on women place, it was a get together place, and a lot of times me, you, and Big Bob and All Purpose, all them dudes used to rap. We used to freestyle outside of the arcade, and I was a fan of your lyrical ability, so we kind of got cool after that even more. You know, it's like basketball players. You run into somebody that can play basketball that's good or better than you.
Yeah.
You want to be around that person to sharpen your skills.
Yeah, get better.
You know, it's
Yeah.
the same way. Well, it used to be the same way with rapping and hip hop culture. MCs would, I guess y'all nowadays would call it bid on each other, but we bid with bars. You know what I'm saying? Like not necessarily to bust on each other, but to make our bars stronger.
I was a barracuda.
Barbarian.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it go way back. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
what's up.
And when I used to hang with the Italian mob dudes, used to.
right?
Yeah.
The little Merlinos and all
Yeah,
that.
I remember one time we had a Jeep Cherokee with a bullet hole in it. You was like,
What the fuck you been into and shit? You know what I
Shit.
mean? Yeah, I mean, I know you was shooting rhymes, but now you get to shoot somebody shooting them back.
Hey, listen, man, I ain't never been nothing but a scary ass rapper. I don't want no trouble, man. I just be surrounded by wolves, you know? Like, you know, you gotta feed the wolves so the wolves feed off you. So when you want something else and you going to parties and going to colleges and stuff, a lot of times your homies that don't get to do that, they want to tag along for the ride. And once they see that, they like, yo, we must protect this man at all costs.
Right.
I mean, I do a good job of protecting myself, but I'm just saying I've never been no street nigga per se. I just been in the streets. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not no gang nigga. I'm just gang affiliated because the gang niggas was the ones who was supporting the rappers.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying? The only reason we got played at the Wynn Ballroom and the YMCA of Philadelphia and the Hotel Philadelphia, which was the outlets for hip hop, was we had two of the biggest gangs in West Philly behind us, the Moon Gang and the Hilltop Hustlers. Me, June, and Hank was from, matter of fact, I was from Hilltop. Hank was from Lansdowne Avenue and June was from Hurst Street, but 62nd and Lansdowne and Hurst Street had their own little thing. They was more like Midtown, because they say they midway between Hilltop and Moon Gang. So they call themselves Midtown. So technically we had three of the biggest gangs in West Philly, and also the gym Executioners at 60th and Vine,
Yes, sir.
which meant
Shout
that
out.
a lot of people in our community
Shout
trained
out.
to fight. So
Shout
a lot
out.
of us could rumble. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So in them days before guns, it was all about the hand
Yes,
skills.
sir.
So I say all that to say that you wasn't playing around with us or playing around with our money, because dudes who rapped always had dudes around them who was in the street. So this ain't nothing new. It's just nowadays they got blickies and hammers instead of fists and switchblades. You know. So
Right.
that's it, man.
But
Hey
you know,
man, hey, that was. I love the way you put that right there, man.
Right.
'Cause,
that
you know
was
what I mean.
rather
You had to have hands, man.
You had to have hands. you know?
If you didn't, then you better learn quickly.
And you also, and my man right here was my man to my left was a basketball star. He grew up with some of the people I grew up playing against. I would never classify myself as a basketball star. I was way better in freestyling and football than I ever was in basketball. But again, in our generation, you played every sport and you played to win. You didn't play to get broads. You didn't play to get rep. You played to win. So I'm a winner. I'm going to do the things that nobody else is going to do on the court.
Right.
I'm going to set the picks. I'm going to run the screens. I'm going to grab the rebounds. I'm going to intimidate the punks that don't have the type of heart that I got. And if you too small or you too big, I'm too fast for the big niggas and I'm too big for the small niggas. So if you give me the ball low on the post, I'm hitting the layup. Ask anybody who played. Ask John Rankin. Whoops, sorry you can't. R.I.P. My bad. Ask Melvin Hawkins. Ask Naeem Crenshaw. Ask Naeem Crenshaw. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I could keep naming names, bro. I could keep naming names. You understand what I'm saying? Ask Lawrence Pembroke.
L Train.
Ask
That's
Isaiah
my young blood
Montgomery.
right
Ask
there.
Gene Haith.
Yeah.
Ask Ricardo Gilliams.
That's my man.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep naming people that shit names.
That's
I'ma
my
keep naming
man.
people that shit names.
Yeah.
And when my name come back, it ain't gonna come back with no taint or no stain. The most you gonna get out of E is he wild, he crazy, he deep, he on that conspiracy theory, he talk too much, whatever. But you ain't never gonna hear rat. You ain't never gonna hear sucker. You ain't never gonna hear my name in no paperwork. You ain't never gonna hear nobody rob me or bust my ass in a freestyle
I'm
battle.
gonna keep it a
Never,
man.
ever.
With you and for the listeners and everybody, if any of that was associated,
You hear that tour?
you wouldn't be here.
Never, ever,
brother.
ever.
You know what I mean? Like,
We want to
I fuck
throw
with
on a.
you
We got
on
get a beat
I
on
fuck with
today.
you level, you know what I'm saying?
Hear him and Gang War go and play.
So all the music shit and all that is kind of like
If you can.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? But I know where it began.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So E, what was the name of the group that you was a part of back in the day? That
First off, I can say I was out Southwest because a lot of people from West Catholic was from Southwest. So my man Flowmaster Skeet, Cool Breeze Steve, Grand Wizard, I was down, True Prince, I was down with them. But I was, at that time, I was more like a assassin for hire. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really belong to any group. I just was a real good rapper. And when you was super good at rapping like I was, all the DJs from your community would want you to come through their basement and make a mixtape. So, you know, my name got out there from that. And what happened was, one time, Bobby Dance had a party. It was around Christmas, 1984, at the Wynn Ballroom. And at that time, I was hanging out with my man Mark Guerrero, Keith Thomas, Moose, rest in peace. They was all from St. Francis de Sales. And because we played basketball against each other before we got to West Catholic, we was already cool. And then the racial vibe at West Catholic was such of a jail cell where the white boys were so prejudiced and racist that all the black guys had to put away our geographical rivalries and stick together, just like jail. Like the bottom and Hilltop could be trying to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? Parkside and Winfield could be trying to kill each other. But when we all get upstate, we got locked in on the West Philly joint.
That's right.
Because North Philly is strong, South Philly is strong. You know how that go.
Right.
And then when the racial shit jump off, everybody from Philly got to join together.
Everybody.
To get with the white boys or the Puerto Ricans or the Mexicans, however it go there. You understand what I'm saying?
But at West Catholic, all the blacks had to be together.
Yes, because it wasn't that many of us at the time.
That's right.
Which is amazing now, because now it's predominantly African American school.
Right.
And the sacrifice that me, you, and our generation made is the only reason that could possibly happen.
That's right.
So I say all that to say that Bobby Dance and them had a party. My man Hank C was with FMD. I don't know if y'all know Funk Master Disco. Disco Dave, Grand Wizard Daz, Daystar, Martin Griffin. They was like the first legendary group on Hilltop that I can remember. They used to do parties and be on flyers and whatnot. So they was there. Hank used to bring me to Dave crib on 57th Street, and we used to also rap at the bar on 56th and Market. Now, mind you, I'm 13, 14 years old, but I always was big and I always had facial hair, so people always thought I was older than what I was. And from
You have a beard.
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
first time I
yeah.
met you,
So,
you always
so,
had
so you know,
full beard.
yes,
Like,
yes,
Yeah.
and you know, when your name ring bells, or when people who ring bells vouch for you, you allowed to do things that a lot of other people in your age bracket couldn't do.
yeah.
At least in that time, it was a culture. Like, you couldn't get picked at Tustin, you couldn't get picked at Baker, you couldn't get picked at Haddington. Nobody cared about how good you could play. Unless a dude from that community could vouch for you, nobody would pick you the ball. And not only that, they would take your winners. I done seen people get beat down over winners. You understand what I'm saying? No, me and my man running, but I had winners for you ain't got them. What would you say? What? No questions asked, bro. It's none of that back and forth and talk. So,
Hold on, I not to intervene real quick, but you just said something about winners and Haddington. I remember at Haddington, I was up there and I didn't have winners, but the boy that had the winners picked me on his team. Another boy came up called Winners, went out there with his squad to run after the game, and the guy that had the winners, it was his ball. He was like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, I got the winners. The boy said, yeah. Went over to the bench, got his gun, he shot the fucking ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was like, all right, check it up. And pulled out his ball and shit. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. Shot the fucking ball, dog.
And it was like, yo, don't leave. No, shot ball, y'all.
I
Shot
was
ball.
like, oh, I'm out.
yeah, man.
This nigga,
you know,
when you foul this
Wasn't
motherfucker,
even
I'm
that-
gone.
Wasn't even that heavy to me.
We ain't playing it. We ain't
He
playing
went
it
right
today.
to it. He was like, yeah, all right. Went right, got his shit.
You know what they say, Philly fuck around and find out. Hey, what's up, man? Clay Comedy, my man from Chicago joined us, man. So you know, that was another reason I used to always go back and forth with you, bro, over that gang stuff. Y'all talking Chicago. Philly is the home of the gangsters. And I'm going to give you some information. Nation of Islam headquarters is in Chicago. Why did they come to Philly Mosque top number 12 to get security for them? You understand me? Because they knew who Sam Christian was.
Yes, sir.
They knew who Ron Harvey was.
Yes, sir.
They knew about
Gangsters
Brothers
are
Inc., bro.
gangsters.
Ask around. The top earning mosque at that time, Muhammad Ali would have told you. Malcolm X would have told you. Several famous NOI members would have told you. The money was flowing from Philly, bro. The security was flowing from Philly. So I know y'all got all that Chicago gang stuff going on. And I also feel bad that a lot of our young boys is imitating what they see from Chicago and recreating it on the streets of Philly. But don't never
They done took
forget,
it to
bro,
another level.
it started right here in Philly. And I say all that to say, to bring it back to the question that my man asked me, how did I basically get organized into rap? Like I said, I was always good. I was always getting recruited by other groups. But I listened to my dad. My dad was one of the dudes from the original Black Bottom. You know, the Lex Street Massacre, my dad grew up on Lex Street before, you know, when only black people could live in the bottom. That's why they call it the bottom. It used to be called the Black Bottom because only black people lived there.
Right.
And my dad's number one goal was to move to the top. So when he bought that crib on Hilltop on Jefferson Street in 1974, he might as well have been George Jefferson with a deluxe apartment in the sky.
How about
So
that?
don't let nobody fool you. Yes, Hilltop got some dangerous people. Yes, West Philly have some killers and gangsters and bad dudes and all that. But for the most part, when you live in West Philly, you came up in a structured situation with a home with food, clothing, and shelter. You didn't necessarily have to live the gangster life. That's what make dudes from West Philly a little bit more dangerous. They out here 9 times out of 10 because they want to be, not because they have to be. If I had $1 million for
you know
every
what,
home
though?
from South Philly or North Philly that came up here and thought they was in the suburbs and was like, damn, I never seen nothing like this. Sort of like how we be if we go up Mount Airy or some cribs in Winfield.
Yeah,
Because we got
that's what I'm saying.
we got this mind state that however nicer your community is, you must be soft.
Right.
And however hard
Right.
or ugly or nasty
Right.
or ran down your community is,
Right.
oh, you must be hard.
You
You
must be
must
hard.
be real.
But you know what though, bro? I'm gonna tell you something, big. I really do think that when you have a tougher time in your life and you really tough it out, you got to, like I said, it's like a boxer. I think they can kick in that extra gear. They can kick in that extra gear. You know what I mean? To dig in. You know what I'm saying?
'Cause
More.
you got it to go to. You got it to go to.
Yeah, but let's say my dad was from the streets and
Yeah.
he got it in him, but he gave me a better life.
Yes.
So I ain't exactly. I'm from the hood, but I ain't from the hood because all my rep is coming off my dad. Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So then when I step in there with a dog who from the hood, be around the hood, in the hood all day long, and I go to spar with him, we go get it in. He got the extra gear to kick in. I ain't got the extra gear because I don't know what it's like to be in it.
And you 100% correct.
You know what I mean?
You 100%
Now,
correct.
I just want to say this, right? At the end of the day, anybody can be a killer. Anybody can be that guy. It don't matter what you grew up in, none of that, this, that, and the other. It's what you gonna do in that moment when you gotta handle yours. Like how, you know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, I don't think the boy with that's from the streets and then had it hard necessarily in that moment is gonna be better than the boy who had a good life, whatever, because once it's a life or death situation, or once you got something on the line, that's when that extra gear is gonna kick in, regardless of what your background is gonna be. You know what I mean? Now, what I will say about the person that's from the streets, the advantage that they have is that they already mad. They got an inner anger in them because of how they was brought up, right? But I'm a nigga. I actually came up privileged. You know what I mean? Like I would consider myself. I'm a thug, but I ain't thugged out. You know what I'm saying? Like I you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, in that moment, you know, either you gonna be a winner or you gonna lose. And sometimes losing, you can't come back from that. So ain't no telling what that moment is gonna bring out of that person, regardless of your situation.
I will not argue with that. But what I will say is, if you're gonna sit up here and tell me that part of the reason you are the way you are and have done the things you have done does not have anything to do with the light-skinned pretty boy stereotype that you've had to overcome. Right. If you're gonna sit there, if you're gonna sit up, if you're gonna sit up here and tell me that in our day, people didn't automatically assume that because you went to Catholic school, you were somehow softer or nutter, or you could come to my school and take my chain or take my glasses, and we wasn't going to rumble back. God knows as a witness. People know this person. Busy B, a.k.a. Biz Porter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know who Biz is. Everybody know what Biz did in the music and in the streets. We ain't got to go there.
All right.
Everybody know Batcave Studio. If you don't know Batcave Studio, you might not be as Philly as you think you are. Ask Meek about Batcave Studio. Ask any famous... Ask Rick Ross about Batcave Studio. Google it. You understand? Batcave Radio, Batcave Promotion. You know what I mean? All that's going on right now between the Pit and whatever... Biz and them started the Pit. Biz and them was the only dudes who stood up to the JBM. This is real talk. You know how me and Biz got cool? Biz and them from West Philly used to come to West Catholic to pick on us because they thought we was easy pickings. They believed in the Catholic school rumors. They was going to come up there, beat up a bunch of sweet-ass Catholic school dudes and take our Gazelle. Because at that time, it was Gazelles, sheepskins, patent leather Adidas, and felines. Jordans wasn't even popping. Jordans wasn't even invented at this time. They were still running around with dunks. That's how long ago this was. But me and Biz had knew each other from rapping. Biz was way more into the streets than I was, but I would have never known that because he never rapped about it. In our day, the gangsters and the rappers and the killers didn't rap about gangstering and rapping and killing because they didn't want nobody to know they was gangstering and rapping and killing. That's the quickest way to go to jail. Have you ever heard about being a gangster and a gentleman? Be a gangster when it's time to be a gangster. When you gangster with niggas who ain't gangster, you not really gangster. When you killing niggas who ain't killing other niggas, you ain't really killing. You bullying and picking on motherfuckers, and you a weak ass nigga. But I digress. Me and Biz got cool from battling each other because we didn't want to see our homies going back and forth rumbling each other over some dickhead ass chains and coins and glasses that anybody could have picked up with a second job. You understand? So we got super tight. So, you know, that's just all I wanted to say. Most of your friends in hip-hop, you used to rumble. Most of our best friends that we know, we didn't always be best friends. You know what I'm saying?
But one thing I will say is that, you know what I mean, and this is just to go back on the other thing that you touched earlier, like, you know what I mean, like you was dead on as far as what triggered me when I was a young boy, what made me become gang war. You know what I mean? And it was the bullying. It was people, you know what I mean? Like on some real shit, I think I told the story on here, but at like 11 or 12 years old, my mom sent me to the local supermarket around my area and shit. Uncle Nick's is what it was called back then, right? So I go down there, and the two boys that was bagging up, they was the baggers trying to make a couple dollars for themselves. You know what I mean? Decide they want to bully me and chase me home and try to steal my fucking money and shit, right? So that day I ran from 55th in Chester to 52nd in Chester. I ran the whole fucking way, got home huffing and puffing, and I felt like the biggest fucking bitch in the world. And this is like 11 years old. So at that particular point in my life, I told myself, I'm not running no more. I don't give a fuck what the scenario is. I'm not running. And Pat, you was living proof of this shit, because it be instances where I need to be running, where I need to be boom, 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 and all I do is just square up. And I'm like, if anybody come at me with that dumb shit, I'm a wreck 'em. But long story short, it's like all that came out of the niggas trying to bully me and all that as a young boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I became anti-bully. So when people started bullying my friends, or I see people try to bully people I know, I was a nigga to step up and beat the shit out of them. You know what I mean? So and that's how a lot of my reputation came about. You know what I mean? You know, just from people thinking that it was some sweet shit, and I couldn't wait to show you it was different.
Yeah, and I say that's why, Aaron Jones and several other quote unquote gangsters all came from Catholic school, because we had that mentality. Now again, I would never claim to be a street nigga, but being as that I'm always in the street, we at the house parties, we at the basketball games, we chasing the hoes, we going to 69th Street, we going to the movies down 15th Street, 52nd in the
Taking
Capitol.
me back in Capitol, baby.
Not the Cheltenham Mall. Yeah, the Cheltenham Mall. Because on one side is West Oak Lane, the other side is Cheltenham. So you got all them. And at that time, we all believed that Mount Airy and West Oak Lane had the baddest bitches.
Yeah.
But when you go up there, they say West Philly got the best. Every neighborhood think they got the best. Every neighborhood you don't live in, they think they got the baddest bitches. But anyway, I say all that to say that we was going all over different places. And in them times, if you couldn't rumble, you really couldn't go nowhere. Because at any time, you could get chin checked. You know what I'm saying? And you had to be able to hold your own if you wanted to come back. Yo, listen, you remember dudes coming back without their shell tops. You remember people getting their Filas and their Adidas and their Jordans literally snatched off their feet. And this was before the time of guns. People was physically assaulting you and robbing you. If you was dumb enough to ask somebody, yo, what time you got? And you put your watch up and they liked your watch, that watch was coming off your hand. We come from the days, people think that they don't have no mercy for sisters now. They didn't have no mercy then. Have you ever seen a young lady get her Rashida earring snatched out of her ear? They ain't using no anesthetic. They not using no alcohol. They literally snatching them big ass earrings right out of her earlobe.
And they taking the ear with it.
Yes.
If it don't go easy,
yes.
you're gonna lose some ear.
So I just want to discard this statement where we always talk about these youth today in such disrespectful tones. They animals,
No, I
they
think
savage,
the difference,
they demons.
the difference.
We did this same. It was niggas doing it. It was the same. Listen, in 1988, 89, 90, 91, when
It's
the
not the same,
JBM
man.
and the Shower Posse and the Philly Mob was all going to war over different stuff. Maybe not going to war with each other, but going to war in general. I guarantee you that those body counts was just as high or higher.
Yeah,
than
I
the ones
disagree,
we got
man.
now.
Listen,
Kids was getting caught in the crossfire. Young boys was getting
right.
executed for drug packs coming up missing. Remember the Jamaicans
So
killed
right
two
now they
young
got nothing
boys
to do with
inside
none of that
the-
shit though.
But-
I
At least
understand.
then it was
understand.
about
I
money. It was about
I understand.
it was about
The reason I understand your argument. The reasons is different, but the bodies is still dropping. The
Right.
bodies dropped then,
but the-
and they drop now.
The difference
so
is,
what's the difference?
I'm about to tell you the difference. The difference is
Is there any difference to the parents?
No, listen, let me tell you the difference before you say anything else. All right, the difference is that now the youth today will come in and start a situation. They will create, they will incite a fucking scenario where it's like they come in talking reckless, being reckless, doing reckless, and then when you step up to the plate, like nigga, hold the fuck up. Now they ready to kill you. So it's like that. So it's like you're not being a bully and beating people up. You being a bully and killing people, or you being a menace and just killing people. At the end of the day, when this he gonna put you up here so that you can Your live will be displayed on the jump.
I think it stopped because I ain't getting no service now.
Oh, all right. But yo, at the end of the day, man, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you, and I disagree
The
with
mentality is different now.
Yeah, because
They're a lot more disrespectful.
I done seen a lot of young bucks. I done watched different lives where you got different neighborhoods of West Philly. You know what I mean? They be like, "What's up, man? Y'all ain't trying to play?" And the boy like, "What you talking about?" And you be like, "Man, I'm trying to slide through it. I'm trying to throw some bullets. What's up? I'm trying to throw some things at y'all. What's up, man? I'm trying to catch one of y'all." Like, that's the rep.
They doing it for fun.
Yeah, it's more for fun. Like, it's for the rep. Like, back in the day when we was catching bodies, we was catching bodies. I said catching bodies was getting bras.
Yes,
I was
totally different.
so I was on that. You know what I mean? Like,
Bullshit.
yeah, making sure I was on that all day.
Hey, shout out to my man 6-1 Hero. Me and him talk about that all the time. Little young boy, we take under my wing. We talk about the difference in words all the time and how it's kind of hard for, I don't want to say educated because that make it sound like I'm being uppity. It's hard for people who know the definitions of words to deal with people who only know words in one definition, meaning as the average person that's not in the street or in the mix, if they hear the word apple, the first word that's going to come to their mind pretty much is pie, juice, or sauce. If you ask a younger person apple, the first thing will come to their mind is the phone or the tablet because they associate Apple with iPhone. It's just the changing of the times. If you ask somebody from my generation, are they good? They taking that as a question about their health. Younger generation asks you if you good. That could be a threat, determined based on the situation and who telling you and where they telling you it at. So my point is, words don't mean the same thing that they used to mean. So unless you are able to navigate the communication gap, you won't really have a problem. See, me, what you talk about, the young boys, I agree with you 100%. But when you have the social raid that I have, I spray that on them cats. They ain't coming at me like that because I'm too hard to figure out. Obviously, I'm not doing what you're doing, but obviously I'm too comfortable in the streets and the traps to be a regular 9-to-5 citizen. Okay, you may think I'm weird because of how I get down, but you a worker and your boss is my man. So that's gonna fuck with their head. Like, your man, your boss, the person you look up to and respect me. And you wonder why, because you ain't never heard my name attached to no shooting, no stepping, none of that. But guess what? You ain't never heard my name attached to nobody getting stepping on me either. I'm not, it's like we live in a jungle, bro. It's predators and prey. And they talk that talk, but most people don't want a problem. They don't. They looking for easy pickings. They looking for easy hunting, bro. And if you don't give off the appearance of easy pickings, they gonna let you go.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, stay in your ground, and stay away from suckers, and you're gonna be all right out here. No matter how crazy it gets. You very seldom see hard-working father of 3 who goes to work every day and take care of his kids gunned down in the driveway. Maybe a mistaken identity, maybe a robbery.
As of lately, though, I ain't gonna hold you. As of lately, what's going on now? That shit has actually been happening.
Okay, just
You
because
got like 3 or 4 instances just in Winfield alone with people walking their dogs and shit, and you know what I mean, young boys coming up with guns and shit, doing some dumb shit, not wanting to killing them.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, I would say this again. That's because
Here, kill the young boy walking his dog. They try to rob him.
Who do you feel sorry for?
Hey, listen, bro.
You know, like,
Winfield used to get robbed in the 80s too. Hilltop niggas used to get robbed. And you want to know why? Because people automatically assume that when you live in nice neighborhoods, you got more money than them. This is obvious,
real shit.
bro.
That's
this
real
is
shit.
Obvious. This is
That's
obvious.
real shit.
I was in North Philly for 3 years, and it made me realize the difference in where we live at. And when I say this, I'm not trying to disrespect, because I know how y'all sensitive thugs is. You're going to take what I'm saying personal when I'm not mentioning no names. I'm just giving particular areas and generalizations and opinions based off my experiences and what I've seen in my travels through the city. And my problem with people is people be making justifications and comments on situations that they know nothing about, because the facts in North Philly and the facts in West Philly is a little bit different. For instance, Temple. Temple is in the heart of North Philly, but in that little area where they at, they secluded in their oasis. So it ain't no mystery why a nigga from 18th and Norris can walk 3 blocks up and rob somebody at Temple because they see all the money around. They look at it as easy pickings. You know, and now, no disrespect, these white chicks is looking for niggas. They on that type of time.
That's
So
right.
if you invite Jamal back in the dorm to give Jamal a toppy or let Jamal break you off and your fucking iPad or your credit cards turn up missing, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's why he was messing with you in the first place.
That's right.
You wanted the dick and he wanted the cash access.
That's right.
Fair exchange ain't no
Very
problem.
simple. That's it. I like that. And I like that for her.
Yeah, but
I love that for her. Now you get the experience. Was it worth it?
save your
You should
child.
listen to your
That's
father.
right. That's right.
And you understand that
That's right. That's right. That's right.
hey, you fucking around taking a chance. Everybody with a beard and a bald head and tattoos is not as loquacious, ubiquitous, and positive as me. Do not use me as an example for dealing with the rest of these cats out in Philly because you're going to turn up dead, bro. I am 1 in a million. I let the prey go, and I influence the predators not to eat. Now think about how deep that was. I let the prey go, bro. I could be a predator. Trust me, I could. I do 100 push-ups every day. I do resistance bands every day. I walk at least 2 or 3 miles every day. And if you don't believe me, anybody that know me will tell you, I was almost dead of COVID last January. As a matter of fact, right now in this basement, I am so happy because I caught it in December, but I fought it off all the way to January. The first thing I lost was my sense of smell. Now, to a pothead and a hope-to-die weed fanatic who loves the smell of marijuana, even as much as I love the taste of it, to be unable to smoke the weed, to be unable to smell the weed that you smoke was truly a living hell. For a person like me who loves to cook, who loves to eat, I classify myself a foodie. I love getting new dishes and that's lemon pepper, that's sage, that's garlic. I can't taste anything. I can't smell nothing. I can't taste nothing. Astaghfirullah, let me die now. On top of the 20 pounds of fluid I had in my lungs. So I say all that to say, last January, I was almost dead, bro. Look at me now. I'm in the best shape of my life because every day I was determined not to be the sick old man fucked up looking for handouts. I was
That's what's
determined
up
not
right
to
there.
let that happen.
Yo, man,
So
you-
it didn't happen.
Hit that.
No matter what your goal is, no matter what your problem is, no matter what your issue is, if you determine not to let it happen to you and you believe that you're going to get through it, 9 times out of 10, you're going to come out on the other side a little bit better and a little bit more physically, mentally, and spiritually able to handle the ups and downs of the escalator ride of life, bro.
Right.
Oh, you'll be doing that all day. I'm punchline king. I'm punchline king. Not just with the freestyle bars, but with my little situations.
Right.
Sound is like my great assist man. You know, this is why I got so much love for this brother. He always stood up to me. He never let me go on my academic and intellectual rants, and he just sit there like, too scared or too brainwashed to say
We go
anything.
back and
He
forth.
always got a varying opinion. And what
Right.
people don't realize is that sticks and stones may break your bones, but names ain't supposed to hurt you, yo. I bring out the beast in people intellectually. Like, I make people think because I want to hear their opinion. If you always the smartest nigga in the room, you in the wrong room. So I surround myself with people who just as smart or smarter than me, and they definitely smarter than me in other areas that I'm weak in. So what I do is I go to people who better than me in certain areas. I won't say better, more experience, more adept at executing certain shit that I get in my own way. So I learned from him. He told me, he said, yo, I got the perfect job for you. You good at talking, you good at sports, and you love people. In 3 months, I'm a supervisor. It's people been there 6-7 years bitching and moaning and complaining because they ain't never got to take the supervisor test. Me and him there 2 months, we both got invited to take the test, and we both cool with all the big wigs where we could make our own schedule, do our own thing, come high as shit and fucked up to the training. And a half hour, an hour late, and they still waited for us and escorted us in a fucking Eagles van up to the goddamn joint. So I'm not saying these things to brag and boast. I'm saying these things to let y'all know that things is possible to happen.
In your
to move you
communication.
from one situation to another.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope.
If you smoke weed, make sure you in a career where they don't drug test.
Well, fortunately, that's the only thing that is now is fucking sports. You know what I'm saying? Because I think
Yeah.
that shit is wide open.
Since you talking about, you said y'all let the Eagles, man. What you think about the Eagles and Jalen Hurts being injured now?
You want to talk first?
I mean,
Now,
all right,
what's the
no,
new-
like,
Go ahead, go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is just he got fucked up on that play, but he could play if he wanted to.
It's not worth him playing.
So they rested him.
Yeah, it's not worth playing.
Yeah.
Why play?
And Minshew, I actually like Minshew. Minshew is like the feisty ass, you know what I mean? Come out there like, all right, come on, let's get it. I got you. What you want deep? You want it? You know what I mean? Like, he's enthusiastic about the game, so he's gonna make it interesting. You know what I mean? And we still got the weapons.
He gonna fuck around and get killed.
He might.
Let him get outside and run around that body.
But I heard Parsons and what's his name? Diggs not playing. So
Did I hear
heard
a,
him?
did I hear a y'all?
Oh,
out of you?
my bad.
Did I hear a y'all?
He retired his.
Did I hear a
his
y'all?
loyalty on the podcast.
I was a lifelong
But
Cowboys fan.
he said a couple weeks
Lifelong.
ago that, you know what I mean, he don't stand with him no more. Fuck Jerry Jones.
Listen.
All that
That is the most rational decision I've heard all week.
I mean, he
because
don't realize that we become closer as friends.
yes, because he denounced his cowboy loyalism. Yes, I have many friends who I put my friendship and my love for them aside based on our football allegiances. And let me just give you my brief 60-second cowboy hate rant. What you got to understand is most people in Philadelphia was raised by our parents to hate and detest the Dallas Cowboys. That's just what it is. And y'all fan base.
Yeah, let's break down
Yeah,
these,
we back.
these Eagles and shit real quick. These Cowboys, like not the Cowboys, but these Eagles. This shit about this talk about Michael Parsons talking about Jalen Hurts being
I want to
assistant
lead it
quarterback.
off with the point that we made on my live, but I want to get it together for all of the audience. The point that you made as far as the critics and you saying that we going to see Saturday that Jalen Hurts is the engine that drive the system per se, and I want to feed off of that. So go ahead and say that again.
All right, so pretty much going forward, everybody keeps saying that Jalen Hurts is only getting the numbers that he getting because of the system that he running in, right? Okay, now it ain't that's not even something to argue about, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to give the coaching staff credit for having the perfect system for your talent. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're going to see on Saturday that if Gardner Minshew would have started the whole fucking season leading up to now, that our record would not be the same as it is under Jalen Hurts. So you can see that it's not the system. It's Jalen Hurts in the system. It's how they work together. You know what I'm saying? But
And that's what Parsons was saying. He's saying the system makes the player.
But that's not how it came out. That's not.
Parsons was saying it in a disrespectful
He said it in a
tone.
disrespectful tone, bro. That's what he meant. What Sal said is what he meant. But that didn't come off that way. If you looked at his body language, if you looked at his tone of voice, he was being very disrespectful, bro. He was. And if he wasn't being very disrespectful, why did he back off the statement? And why did his man, Trayvon Diggs, who played with Jalen Hurts at Alabama, why did he come out and say 2 or 3 days later that Jalen Hurts is the MVP? Because he knew he had to do that to protect his boy Micah, because Micah put his fucking foot in his mouth. Bro, I am a sarcastic king. I work with young bulls who bit off me every day and try to find a weakness every day. I know when somebody is giving me a backhanded compliment, bro.
Yeah.
I know the bid is in, the truth is in the jokes. The way he said it was, you could put Johnny Manziel in there and the Eagles would still have the same record. That's what he was trying to say, bro. He was trying to say that Jalen Hurts is not an MVP quarterback. He was laughing. Von Miller even tried to get him out of the deep water, and he doubled down on it. He doubled down on it, bro. And let me say this.
It's a sucker move that he not playing this week. You know what I mean? Even though, like, me being an Eagles fan, like, all right, I'm glad
He not playing?
He not playing. Him or Diggs, they not playing. They got flu, sickness, illness, some shit. Some type of illness. Where
How you got an illness that's going to keep you from playing
they,
football?
They said on First Take today, they said that it came out and said that both of them is inactive.
Fear?
I don't.
No, I don't.
All I'm saying is that's some
Y'all-
sucker ass shit. You see
Y'all better
that
be a
shit,
little.
nigga, you not even
Y'all
playing.
better be a little lucky that they not playing.
That's what I'm saying.
Why should we
I'm
be
glad
lucky?
he not
Why,
playing.
why should we be lucky now? Let
I'm
me
not
get
gonna say
this
lucky,
is
I'm
why
glad he not
this is
playing.
why
But that's
this is
some
why
sucker shit.
this is why people have a universal problem with Cowboy fans, because you say stuff like that, failing to realize we have played the same exact teams that y'all have played. We have a better record. We have played teams who y'all blew fourth quarter leads on, and we blew them out. We have beaten y'all. Listen, let me finish. We don't need Jalen Hurts to beat y'all. Let me tell you why. We lead the league in sacks and turnovers. Y'all lead the league in interceptions. Y'all lead the league in penalties. Y'all offensive line cannot consistently protect Dak Prescott. Y'all ain't going to score. We got 2 shutdown quarterbacks, 2 shutdown corners. Have you seen Dak play lately? Have you seen Dak play?
I'm not a Cowboy. I'm
No,
not.
okay, you a football fan.
Listen,
You was a Cowboy fan.
what I'm going to say
You was
is,
a Cowboy fan. How is it luck to beat a team that you are better than in every area?
how
is it luck, bro?
So if you better in every area, how'd you only beat us by 2 points? We'll beat the Cowboys by 2 points.
What does it
What
matter?
they
If y'all better
wait,
than every area, how did y'all beat Atlanta? How did y'all beat Houston? No, I'm asking you the same question. If y'all better in every area, why did y'all almost lose to Houston and should have lost to them if the refs didn't overturn that obvious touchdown that the Bulls scored when Dak threw the interception in the fourth quarter? If y'all obviously better than Jacksonville, because we obviously was better than them, Jacksonville had us down 17-0, and we came back and crushed them. Y'all had Jacksonville down 27-10 in the fourth quarter and lost in overtime. So why is that? Because y'all not better than us. Y'all minimally soft. Y'all can't hold leads. Your quarterback is overpaid. Your number one running back. Your number one. Your number one running back should be Pollard, but because y'all overpaid Zeke, y'all got to give him more runs, and y'all would be much better if y'all just gave the ball to Pollard. But y'all don't listen because y'all owner is more concerned.
Well, we can't just get the ball to Pollard. You can't just get the ball to Pollard when you pay Zeke.
He should be your
you pay Zeke all that bread.
That's my point. The same reason y'all should.
But Pollard wasn't developed. Pollard wasn't developed when Zeke was getting paid that bread.
Dak ain't developed, and y'all gave him all that bread.
We had to get Dak. We had to get Dak that bread because he had
to. Y'all chose to.
He had the best rookie season you could ever have.
Because we can have the same argument that y'all got against Jalen. He was surrounded by the best offensive line in football at that time. He was.
Who?
But
at the time Dak had that rookie season, y'all had the best offensive line in football.
You did.
You did. You know
so the same argument that they make against Jalen, we can make against Dak.
But in hindsight, hold on, just in hindsight, the reason why Dak don't have the offensive line that he had before is because he took
the money. He took the money.
You know what I'm saying?
He took the money.
And that's him because they had to pay him and Zeke and whoever else got some big bread around here, a receiver, I think.
My Cooper got
you know what I mean? Bread. You know, because they had to do that, they wasn't able to pay the offensive line. That made them, you know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, I mean, I ain't gonna go so far. I just had to remind him that I'm in between this shit. He like, hold up. I'm like, whoa, I'm not ducking this shit. So, I just want to intervene and just say that, you know what I mean? We gonna see.
It's gonna be a good
because
game.
At the end of the day, when we did play the Cowboys, we played them with their number 2 quarterback.
True indeed.
So now they're gonna play us
with our number 2 quarterback.
Same handicap, opposite side of the joint. We're gonna see how we fare as a team.
That's
a fair.
I don't have no fear because I've seen Gardner Minshew before. People fail to realize Gardner Minshew was the starting quarterback on the NFL team. Y'all fail to realize he got way more. I looked up his stats. He got 41 touchdowns to like 12 interceptions. He won 8 games. He lost 14. Ain't great, but he ain't bad. So again, you have a competent NFL quarterback.
He's terrible.
Who has won games with this team? I saw him play last year.
Gardner Minshew is nice.
For you to say Gardner Minshew is terrible,
that's terrible.
For you to say Gardner,
I like him more than I like Cooper Rush.
But Cooper Rush better than him.
No,
sir. Cooper Rush better than him.
Did it for 3 different teams.
Cooper Rush better than him. You bugging.
Listen,
Gardner Minshew is that boy.
Cooper Rush carried the Cowboys this year. He carried us.
Gardner Minshew about to.
He went like 4-1 with you.
Listen. This is why I have a problem with Cowboy fans.
Stop playing, man.
I'll watch y'all
games.
You know who carries y'all? The defense carries y'all in y'all running game. All y'all ask Cooper Rush to do is not turn it over.
And he won the game for us.
And the one game,
he was throwing touchdowns.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
but guess what?
Come on, man.
Guess what he threw in the first game against the Eagles? Interceptions, and that's why y'all lost. Because we made Cooper Rush beat us.
By
He
2.
can't do it.
By 2 points, and y'all
It
was
don't
four. Y'all was at
matter.
4.
It don't matter
By
how
2
much. It was
points.
by 9
By
points.
2 points.
26,
Y'all
17.
niggas is in
Stop.
trouble, man.
We beat
Y'all
y'all
niggas is in
26,
trouble.
17.
I'm
Stop.
definitely not going to say that
Stop.
they're trash.
No,
but-
no, it was 24. It was like 24, 26.
It was 26-17. That was the final score when we played the Cowboys.
No sir, no sir. It was about 2 points.
Can we look that up right quick? Bro, you can't argue. He's learning.
ahead, gang.
Don't argue with me on nothing with
Go ahead,
sports,
gang.
especially with
But
numbers.
he said that before to me.
Don't argue with me on nothing with numbers,
He
bro.
said when it
We
comes
beat
to
the
numbers
Cowboys
in sports,
26-17. I was at the game. Me and him work every game. We work every game. I was under the goal post.
All right, that's it.
No, it's 26-17.
All right.
You can't argue with me on sports with numbers, bro. You're gonna lose every time.
All right.
I know people teams better than them.
Yeah, we got to be wrong. Come on,
I'm
break
going
it
to prove
down.
you
My
wrong.
phone is
I'm
like,
going to
I
prove
got
you wrong.
shit on 12%.
I'm going to prove
about
you
to
wrong.
pull it up.
Lesson learned. Don't argue with OGE Bizzle when it comes to sports. Ask Mike Missinelli. Ask Howard Eskin.
You gonna see right here.
Ask him.
Under the one by
It's
two.
about 5 dudes that y'all
Eagles,
know on ESPN Sports right now who I schooled at the radio station when I was at 97.5. Guarantee you. It's 100% facts. Don't mess with me with sports, bro. You can't.
All right.
You can't mess with me in sports
You keep
knowledge.
talking, and my Google is like, is he done yet?
It don't matter. I'm right.
I'm
26-17.
trying to look up the stats, though. Anyway. Shit, I just put that.
Let him look it up on his
Eagles
phone.
and wins and losses.
No, Eagles Cowboys. The score's gonna pop right up. I'll even give you the date, October the 16th. Don't mess with me with numbers, bro.
Cowboys and Eagles wins and losses.
17-26.
Thank you. October 16th, we beat y'all
October
26-17.
October 17th.
Damn, I was off by one day.
October 17th.
What was the score?
26-17
What did
Eagles.
OG Bizzle say the score was?
26-17.
Thank you. Don't argue with me with numbers, bro, when it comes to sports. You will look stupid and dumb every time. Every name I mention is going to come back right.
I just look
Every
wrong. I ain't
score is
stupid
gonna
or
eventually
dumb. I
come
just
back
look
right.
wrong. I'm just wrong right there. That's all.
No, because I told you though. I
But I'm
warned
just
you and
wrong.
you still wanted
But I'm
to
just
go ahead.
wrong. I was confident in what I thought the score was. But but you know, I was just
I'm
wrong. That's it.
100% in scores, bro.
Just wrong.
It's what I do, bro. I apologize for calling you stupid and dumb, but that's what I do to Cowboy fans. My knowledge and my respect just disappears because Cowboy fans, that's Cowboy fans in a nutshell. They swear they right, no matter what statistics say. Y'all ain't been shit for 30 years.
So
But
what-
every year is we gonna win the Super Bowl.
So what we're seeing
it's like-
is your anti-cowboy persona. You know what I mean? Just ready to go.
Well, you know, it's because Cowboy fans will say stuff like, "We have a better defense than the Eagles," but statistics show we lead the league in sacks, we lead the league in turnovers. Y'all give up more runs than us. But when you tell them this, they argue with you and want to attack you personally. And then the first thing they say is, "Oh, if that's the case, how come we got more rings than y'all?" What do that have to do with what's going on today?
But I haven't said not one of those things.
I didn't say you. I said Cowboy fans.
That is a very famous line that Cowboys
Thank
fans
you.
likes to throw
Thank
out
you.
there.
That's all I'm saying.
Is we
That's
have
all
more
I'm
rings
saying.
than y'all, but the last ring y'all got was in the 90s.
I ain't never climbed no grease pole. I ain't never eat no shit. I ain't never got drunk and beat up no fan from no other city. But Eagle fans is known for that, ain't they? So if I gotta wear that badge, why can't you wear the one I throw on you?
But you're not a Cowboy fan.
How you not be a Cowboy fan no more?
We
I
gotta
denounce them
watch
because
the
I don't
last
like
episode.
I don't like the racism. Man. I don't see you gonna make me all right. It's like this.
Yeah, talk about how Jerry Jones is a yeah, just say it.
No, it's all of them.
Just say it.
It's all of them. It's every single one that I look at. I think that the white man, woman, and child. I just think they're the devil, man. That's it. Fuck it.
Damn.
So
I can't go against it. If you look at their symbol, it's the 5-pointed star. Ain't that the symbol of the devil? Oh, all right, they want to lie. You know what I'm saying?
I just
Hey.
I've been waking up to some things, man.
Hey.
You know what I mean? So
Why do you think they call
I
them
don't know.
America's team? Why do you think they used to play the Redskins every day on Thanksgiving? Every
shout out to General
Thanksgiving.
Yohana,
I'm
man.
just saying.
Captain Tazariot and
Hey man,
Those
what
white
would you
brothers,
what
man.
would you say if I told you that I bust him in a freestyle knowledge battle on Lenox Avenue
Who's
in
that?
New York? Captain Tazariot of the UPK.
he freestyle, but he battles.
No, he battles in knowledge. See that? because I'm so woke, and I've been woke before Captain Desariat. I've been woke before Sinetta. I've been woke before all them Brother Polites and all that. That's what I do too. So when they run into me, because I used to be at Black and Nobel, and you can't promote nothing in Philly on the deep knowledge book tip if you don't come through Black and Nobel. So all them dudes used to be impressed with me. And one day we was up in New York, and Tazariot was holding court, and I said, damn, he's such a smart brother, I'm going to ask him a question. I said, good brother, if God is one, and we all come from God, and God is universal, whoop-de-whoop, who was he talking about in the beginning of Genesis when they say, let us make man in our image? I was an English major and a history teacher. Us and our denote more than one, plural. So who was he talking to? No religious person, no Bible person, no Israelite, no Hebrew, no Catholic has ever been able to answer that question to me with no satisfaction. So from that,
so you just refused the answer that was given. Then that's
he
what
didn't
you're
give.
saying.
He didn't give an answer.
You can always get an answer because the answer is in the book. You can
What's
always
the
get an
answer?
answer. You know what I'm saying?
How is one person talking? How is one person who's not there? The Bible says.
Well, the Bible says
let us create man
Yeah, but
in our
the book-
image.
the book-
So who is he talking to?
The book also says that he sits right hand that his son sits right hand of the Father.
That wasn't born yet.
Yeah, he wasn't born in the flesh. Yeah, he wasn't born in the flesh.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking because I deal with reason and logic. And when you don't know the history of the person that write the book, you don't know what you read. Bible literally stands for basic instruction before leaving earth. The only reason they call it the Bible is because the paper that it was written on comes from the Isle of Byblos. Nobody wrote on paper back then. That's why they got the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that type of stuff.
Right.
So when you come from a knowledge perspective, you always gonna clash with people who believe in words that man wrote. God don't need to write, bro.
Well, the words were inspired by the Most High to these men.
I got you.
It was a certain lineage of men that was only inspired too.
I got
That's
you.
why I go from generation to generation, from Israelite to Israelite. You know what I mean? It's not. You know what I mean? An Israelite, then an Arab man, then another Israelite, then a Jewish man, or something like that. It was Israel. It's a bloodline thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. The book is about a bloodline of people. It's about a history of people.
What if I told you that the history of those people says that it was an oral tradition that nobody really wrote, and everything that they write about and talk about happened hundreds of years after it happened? This is what
Right. That's called prophecy. When somebody says something and then it happens, and that's called prophecy. That's where you got prophets.
prophecy. You know what prophecy mean in Hebrew? It just means to sing.
Prophecy is when someone speaks to something and say something and it does something. Like Moses told the children of Israel, if you don't do God's commandments, which they didn't do multiple times in the book, in the Biblios that you talking about, you know what I mean? That so when they disrespected God's commandments, because God only is dealing with one people on this whole earth, and He told them, if you don't do God's commandments, you're gonna go on slavery on ships. And you're gonna be sold into your enemies.
That's
and
100% true. That's Deuteronomy.
Hold on. And then when you get sold to your enemies, you're gonna worship other gods of wood and stone. And it's a wood and stone. You had wood today. That's the Christian. That's Christianity. You look at the stone. That's Islam. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
sir.
So all that.
Yes,
So
sir.
all that
Yes,
Moses
sir.
preached about 2 to 4 to 5, 6,000 years ago came true. All that came true. So the book gotta be real, because all religions will run around that. But that book don't support none of the religions that also try to support go try to lean on that. No religion, ain't no religion on this earth that can relate to the Bible. They all try to cling to it, but the Bible don't relate to the religion at all.
Bible don't have nothing to do with religion.
None of it, because it's a history book.
It's not even in
It's a
the
history
Bible.
book. It's
That's
a law
my
book.
point. That's
Yeah,
my
it's a
point.
law book. It's a
That's
law
my
book
point.
given
That's
to
my point.
yeah. It's a law book
We
given to a
definitely
people.
agree. We
It's
definitely agree on that.
it's a law book given to a people. You know what I'm saying? And one people only. And they either gotta do the commandments or they don't do the commandments. And if they don't do the commandments, we fucked up like we are now, because we don't know who we are. We call each other black, fucking colored. You know the rule. You know what we've been through.
Hey, bro, I still deal with them on 12 on Market Street. A lot of times I go to the lectures, I listen, I take the pamphlets and break it down because they help me with my biblical knowledge. You understand me? I just got a problem with the translation because once again, English is a limited language, and just like we talked about with slide and good, a lot of times in the Bible it's the same way. We thinking that it means one thing, but it really means another. And like you said, that book is only for one group of people. It ain't for everybody.
Right.
But, you got a whole world running around quoting the Bible, talking about what would Jesus do. What would Jesus do? He would deny the knowledge to you because he said it's not good to give to dogs what's good for the children of Israel. Come on, bro, I'm on it.
That's what I'm talking about, eh? That's what I'm talking about, eh?
I'm on it.
That's what I'm talking about, eh?
And a lot of what he talking about, not only you going to get rid of the Dallas Cowboys, you going to get rid of sports in general. As much as I love sports, I'm not really connected to it like I used to be. You understand what I'm saying? I don't get all caught up. I talk crazy.
It's a distraction, man.
It's a distraction.
Yeah,
it's
man.
bread and circuses, as the Romans would say.
Yep.
And if you think it's any coincidence
Fuck
that the
with you,
Romans
eh?
played in the Coliseum and most of the stadiums we play in today is Coliseums, I would tell you that you're wrong. If you think that the Roman gladiators didn't get just as much props, money, pussy, and fame as the football players and boxers and athletes do today, I would tell you that you're wrong.
That's right.
I would tell you that
That's
the whole
right.
American society is just a recreation of Rome, bro.
Well, just to add on to that, bro.
And Egypt.
Yes, stolen knowledge from our folk. Well, maybe not our folk, but you know what I mean.
But you know, yeah, but
Just to add on to that real quick, I honestly feel like it's a gin associated with that as well. Just like how it is with Christmas right now. Just like how it is with a lot of these pagan holidays and shit. It's certain gins that make you feel a certain way, that influence you to do certain shit that's associated with that holiday. Beyond how that shit is going to affect your life personally, you get infected by this gin. So when you look at them big presentations with sports and shit, all this shit, that's
Yeah.
the genie music and
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
shit.
that
You
is,
know what I'm
though.
saying? So
same as church music. They start going to muffled choir shit, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, our women be all up in that shit crazy.
Hell yeah,
to be
bro.
aware
It's the
and
same
know what's
energy.
going
It's the
on
same
is
energy.
key. You know what I mean? Because I watch the shit, but I know the gin don't affect me. I'm hip. You know what I mean? I ain't no weak-minded nigga, but the sports and all that shit. It's major gins
Excuse me, I'm
associated.
Whoa, yeah, hell yeah,
yes.
man.
We
That's
have
it, that's it.
Are we still,
shirt cover.
based on the situation, I done got you all religiously hyped or spiritually awoken now. We going back and forth. Is it okay to call it Easy Jesus?
Yo, ironically though, but this is
You know what I'm saying?
but
I
ironically,
want no smoke, bro.
this is the Ciroc connection with
Nah, man. Nah, man. We call it irk and jerk.
I
I got you.
You gotta get Ciroc on.
I don't want no smoke, bro, because I realize that sometimes when you press them religious or spiritual buttons, it get a little hype. So
Well, you know,
I had to
we-
calm
No.
down. I had to calm down.
Not at all.
We talk about what we
No,
want on this
so you have me on the sports joint, but when we gonna start talking about that book, that's my thing, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
That's my thing
I try
too,
to.
yo.
You said Captain Zaryak. You never know. That's like
That's
my
my
elder
guy.
right there.
That's
Yeah,
my
you
guy.
know what I mean.
That's
So
my guy.
I
I stay
respect that,
quiet
man.
because I'm a student. You know
No,
what I
because
mean?
it's like it was almost like an ambush. Not from them to me, but the people who brought me up there just for that purpose. Because I always talk about the Bible, but I talk about it almost like the same way I talk about rap. Like to me, it's like a book. Like I learned it in Catholic school. I know it like the back of my hand. But now that I'm woke, I got a different perspective on the words and the stories.
Yeah, because what we learned was wrong.
Yes.
So we say you gotta re-download.
You gotta erase this
You gotta
shit.
erase
Start
this
over.
shit. Yeah, start over.
Start over.
Yeah, like I was talking to my cousin the other day. You know what I mean? I was talking to my cousin the other day. Shout out to my cousin Myrna, and I was saying to her, you know, when I was a kid, I learned that, you know what I mean, that Satan had had some angels to follow him, and then they fought against, you know, God in heaven, and God kicked in God, and the archangel Michael, they fought against them, and they kicked them out of heaven. That's the story that's that story I got.
That's pretty much the story everybody got.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
Catholic version.
But when you look in the Bible, that ain't there.
What they tell us, because they know most of us wouldn't read for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna take the version that's given to us.
That's
But
a
when you
lie.
read it for yourself, well, a lot of the stuff they told us was lies.
Yeah.
Like me being a common sense person, I just always had questions that the nuns and the priests couldn't answer. When they was like, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, I was like, but three don't go into one in math. How come it's going to go?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real. Like, how can I be my dad and my brother? Like, it don't make no sense, man.
Where the women
Or for them even to tell me that the Holy Spirit got Mary pregnant. Like,
Woo!
what does that even happen in mankind? How can that happen?
How can that happen?
It don't happen. So you trying to that's adultery. That God don't want you to commit adultery.
That would make God kind of freaky. He just come
on,
here in the night.
Okay, I got
Here in the night start.
I got another one for you. I got another one for you. How did we get from Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel? Where the women at? So they all must have been banging Eve. No,
ain't no
but
way
when
in the
you
world.
read it, it's something totally
You
different.
go to the book of Ezekiel, it'll tell you that the people see. All right, look, that's what make the book so amazing, man. All right, when you have children and everything, you create your own family tree. In the book of Ezekiel, the nations are described as trees.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As the branches. You know what I mean? And some trees are bigger than other trees. I mean, some nations are larger than other nations. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way in the world they have this, the story of Adam and Eve in the Bible, and they have Cain and Abel, and Cain killed Abel, and then the Lord kicked Cain out of the land, stripped him of his melanin, made him a vagabond, and kicked him off the land. He went to the land of Nod and got a wife, and then he built a town, and then started his own.
The key thing in all you said was stripped him of his melanin. You know, Tazariot and every Israelite I ever met and built with, they big on the story of Esau and Jacob. They big on the story of two nations coming out of one womb. And they big on the fact of Esau being red and hairy and warlike, and Jacob being more fine and refined. Because to me, it definitely sounds like what we got going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I want to talk.
And it said Esau.
Esau's
It said
characteristics. He's
right.
a hunter.
He's a
You
hunter,
know what I mean?
a man of the
You
field.
know what I'm saying?
Who did that seem like?
Blessed with the sword.
Who do that seem like they talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you go back through our history, you know, it was this book by Chancellor Williams called The Destruction of African American Civilization. And basically what he said was, it basically took 6,000 years of, at that time they was called, I guess he called them Euro invaders or Euro Asians or African
barbarians,
Arabs. Like, it wasn't just what we would refer to as white folks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That it took 6,000 years for them to get to where they at and for us to come to where we at. And it might take 6,000 more
But it
to
was
reverse
written.
the situation.
It was written.
Definitely.
What's happening
It was written.
was written. So
Deuteronomy is real, bro. I definitely 2864, the Eagle ships, all of that.
Yeah.
The fact that was said then, and that the symbol of the United States is the eagle, it just can't not be.
I mean, them symbols there's no way you when you look at what it's saying and then look at history. There's no way you can deny it. Like,
and what else we talked about? The Romans. What was they saying?
and then you pull a
The eagle
dollar.
too.
You pull a dollar bill
It's
out.
right out in front of your face. It's right in front of your face.
It's the symbol of America. It's the symbol of America. If you look,
Eye of Horus and all.
no. The symbol of the eagle.
Oh, yeah, right
It
there.
says the
Yeah,
eagle
yeah.
will come from from a nation, and you will not a language you will not understand, and they will take and they will not show no mercy to the young or old, and they gonna take you into captivity, and they gonna put a yoke of iron on your neck. All right.
They down
And they gonna-
there. And they also talk about ships.
Yeah.
And Swift
It's
is
an
the
eagle.
flyer.
Swift the eagle flyer. Yo, I'm telling you. See, all you gotta do is to look at the symbols and the correlation of what the Lord
But they
said.
don't teach us symbolism. We only know symbolism when it comes to sports. Like, we can see a symbol
Right.
and know what team that is.
Right.
But at the same token, we won't know what that team really represents. Which
Right.
brings us back to our original thing, the Dallas Cowboys being America's team and the star, and also recreating Thanksgiving when they used to play the Redskins almost every Thanksgiving.
And what they do, they always set up so the Cowboys can win. You see that, man? and then they paint the
I mean,
Indian
it
for
could
being.
be a coincidence,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying it
but
don't seem like
that's
it.
happened so many times. But then you have the redskin being red when they really brown like us.
Yes,
My grandmother's full-blooded black something. Blackfoot Indian.
or Black Crow.
Blackfoot. And she had, I'm talking about my grandma had the
Why
silky
do you
shit.
think they call them Blackfeet
Crazy.
Indians? Why do you think they call them Blackfoot Indians?
Well, my mom said that her mom had the blackest feet you ever want to see in your life.
So what do that tell you about most Indians? They are what?
Black like us. Same
No,
people.
They are. They are us.
They are
So
us.
when people say that they got Indian in their family, I laugh and joke. But
It's
I
just a
correct them
mixture
now.
of the different.
They got us
Different
in their
tribes.
family.
Yeah.
We the original color of the tree.
Yeah.
All other branches come from us.
Yeah.
How about that?
You know. And
Yeah.
for you Florida State Seminole fans, whoa, I'm not gonna go into it, but just read the Seminole Wars
Yeah.
in America. Florida
Yeah.
wasn't always a state, and it wasn't always populated by the people who
Talk
lived
to
there now.
him.
How about that?
You know what I mean?
Talk to
So
him.
next time Florida State score a touchdown and you see that Indian, quote unquote Indian on the horse,
Yeah,
look at what color he is.
How about that?
So you know they put the stuff right in front of your face,
Yeah.
but if you don't know the symbols, you won't see it.
How about that?
You know.
It's a time that we must wake up, man. You know, we can't. I mean, I appreciate Kyrie and I really appreciate Ye and both of them for the sacrifice that they made, man.
Definitely, because
You
I
know-
ain't heard a lie from either one of them yet.
Because them brothers really took us up I'm talking about in the pockets, and that's what most black people will not do. Because I know everybody comes from the mud, they work hard to get what they try and get, but you know after a while, after you get to a certain point, you selling out after a while, man. You know, I used to love Barkley, and because of what he did for the city, and when he was when he played ball for the city and everything, and then I always had love for Shaq, for what he accomplishments and what he did in the league, and then he was always cool. He was rapping, you was rapping and all that stuff, and you got freestyles. I like all that stuff. You're trying to battle with Dame Lillard and all that stuff, but when once you sell out, man, I can't look at you. I can't bang with you no more, man. Even what's the boy Shannon Sharp? I can't bang with you.
Well,
Man.
after what I'm not gonna say he let Skip get away with that, but if Skip had did that to me, what he did to Shannon Sharp, we would not be able to host that show no more.
Right.
Not only did he disrespect his accomplishments, not only did he basically take Tom Brady's side over his, he actually told that man that his Hall of Fame career didn't mean anything.
Right.
And that when he got so upset, he took his glasses off. It looked like Skip threw a pen at him and said, "Put your freaking glasses back on. What the fuck you gonna do?"
Yeah.
That would have been the end of.
He totally put his glasses back on, like, nigga, put your glasses on. You better calm down.
Yeah.
Now, for everybody who didn't realize what was going on right there, Skip had him he had him by the nuts. You know what I mean? Because if Shannon Sharp, if he'd have did some nigga shit at that particular moment, his career would have been done.
He wouldn't
Everything,
have.
right? But at that particular point, it's like Skip was trying to bait him in. Like he was being a little more disrespectful and sarcastic with the put your fucking glasses back on and all that shit. Like, man, I lost it.
But he got a white chick, so he gonna go in on.
Yo, I lost it.
He gonna that dog gonna yield every time.
Right.
He gonna hunt them down.
Right.
All right.
Right. His inner.
He one of them dogs. He one of them dogs that got the collar, the electric collar on. So he gonna run to a circle. He know to back the fuck off though. He know that shot gonna come in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I will say this. I will say this in his defense. Well, not defending that situation, but in general, I guess my point would be, good brother Pop. What would we classify as a sellout? Because at one point in time, the great Muhammad Ali said, if you look at life the same at 50 as you did at 20, you wasted 30 years of your life.
Yes, you have.
So I say that to say, when I watch Boys in the Hood now, when I saw it in the movies, everybody jumped up and cheered when Ice Cube caught up with them boys at AK-47 and then walked them down.
Yeah.
Now I would cry or have damn, that's just another. So I have a different perspective on it.
Right.
So I say that to say, people is calling Deion Sanders a sellout for what he did. my point would be, what more could he possibly have done? Because there's nobody here, as much as we probably all went to black schools or partied at black schools or went to Howard or Lincoln, what was we really doing for HBCUs? Was we checking for their sports teams?
Right.
Was we buying their gear? What Deion Sanders did in 1 or 2 years, or however many years he was there, is going to have generational effect to the point where now talented black guys is actually thinking about
Well,
going
consider
there
it. Yeah.
instead of Michigan or Ohio State or something like that.
And yeah, I agree
And
with you.
every other coach who does that, whether they from the pros or not, the thing seemed to be, you go to a small school, you build that school up. You
Yeah.
go to a bigger school.
Yeah.
You go to a bigger school. You get that. You either go to the biggest school or go to the pros.
And he said,
So what makes him any different? Just because he a brother, he's supposed to sacrifice. And what more can he do for us?
but he said what he was going to do. He said, I'm going to go here, I'm going to do the best I can here and build Jackson State up. But if the opportunity comes through to, where another better opportunity comes by, I'll be a fool not to look into that. You'd be a fool not to. So when you gonna go from they give you $1.2 million, and then they not even paying your staff, so that breaks down over 3 years. You're getting $300,000 a year, 300 grand a year. Then you start paying your own staff. Then you gotta pay out your own bread, your own pocket again to make the grounds better for the young boys to work out and everything. Like what else you want to expect? So then you gonna go from that to what the Colorado was offering. You gotta step up and take it there. You have to. And he told you that's what he was going to do.
Because they can't compete with Colorado.
Now, all right, now, granted, like I said in the last joint, if he'd have stayed there for another 3 years, you know what I mean? Look at the accomplishments and everything. But that's prime time. He's always been a better than the rest. He's always been better than the rest.
He was beyond that coaching job. He was beyond that situation.
You got other NBA pros.
I think he took himself down to be a part of that
You
and
got
to do that.
You got other NFL players, ex NFL
They
players.
can do the same thing.
No, who played and they still coaching that same league in the GAC, and they not winning like he
How
did.
about
I
that?
got one question, and people say, who's the greatest football player of all time? Who's the greatest athlete of all time? I feel as though this man don't get enough consideration for that.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna give you 3 things. The first thing is, he is the first and only person I ever seen in my life that played in a World Series and a Super Bowl.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's true.
Is that the same
That's
year?
right.
I'm not sure, but it could have been
Nah.
because he played.
He, the year he played in the World Series, he played in it was a football game.
And he went
had
on the same day.
Yeah,
He
that
got
was
on the
the same
helicopter.
day. That was on
And
the
I think he
same
wound
day.
up playing in the Super
they
Bowl
did-
that same. They didn't make the Super Bowl.
I don't think they made the Super Bowl that year. Because that was Atlanta.
Oh yeah. It was. He didn't get
He didn't
It
play
was
the Super
Atlanta.
Bowl until he went to 49ers or the Dallas
Yeah,
first.
so he went to 49.
I think he went to 49ers
Then he went
first,
to
then he got
Dallas.
the Super Bowl, and then he went to Dallas and got another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that put him up in that category because anybody who has ever played baseball knows how difficult it is to hit a baseball at a successful enough average to be a
To
professional
even make it to the league.
and to be doing
Make it to
it
the
as
show.
a part-time player. Bro,
Yeah.
I forgot Deion played for the Yankees. Deion played for the Yankees, bro.
Not at that
Deion
time,
said,
though.
no. What I'm saying is he played for the New York Yankees.
Right.
Do you?
That's on his resume.
He
Yeah,
played for the
yeah.
Braves.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
played for the Reds. Not only was he was a high level baseball player,
Yeah.
and he was playing baseball at the same time he was
Yeah,
playing
he
football.
wasn't there just sitting. He wasn't sitting on the bench. He was getting caught.
Yeah.
He was playing.
He was
He
was playing. That's right. Yeah.
Football returning punch,
Yeah.
kickoffs.
And I don't think nobody was
Played both sides of the ball in football.
Wide receiver.
I mean, I don't think anybody who's ever done that, not only being a fashion bull, being the rap
Right,
bull,
right.
being the jewelry bull, he kind of did all
Judah!
of that. He probably
He was
used
like
like,
football's Iverson in a sense.
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
You know what I mean?
You understand what I'm
No,
saying?
he better than Iverson. That's
No, I'm talking about how his influence and all. No, Iverson is comparable to Deion Sanders as far as basketball, but he just wasn't playing multiple sports. But
He could have.
if he'd have played,
he could have played
quarterback,
football. You're
Iverson
right.
would have been in
The
a
only
different
reason why I
league.
say he's better than Iverson is because he got the
He actually
he
did
got
it.
the championships
Chips,
behind him.
Yeah, how about that?
Iverson don't have
Right.
the
He don't-
championship.
And
Right.
for as much as Deion partied and had a good time, he was disciplined enough to know when to say when. Something my
Right.
buddy Bubba Chuck never learned.
But I think Deion was like the first real like NFL like trendsetter. He was the first person
Definitely,
that
definitely.
separated himself from everybody else
He was prime
by
time.
how and what he did and how he did it.
Right.
You know what
Paul,
I'm saying?
can I ask y'all a question? Did
Go ahead.
ESPN have the primetime highlight show before Deion Sanders or after?
Before.
Remember how they, when
It was
Chris
after.
Berman always,
after.
after the games go
Prime
on, before,
time.
Okay. That had to be after
It's
prime.
prime time. That's right. After
It
the
had to be
game.
after prime time.
Yo.
I don't believe in coincidence.
He
You know
probably,
what I'm saying?
I
don't
believe
believe
he
in
might be
coincidence.
one of the people that coined him prime time. It might have came from Berman.
This is what I'm
Berman.
getting at.
Mhm.
This is what I'm getting at because he got a lot of key phrases. Him and Stuart Scott put a lot of
Yeah,
cats over,
yeah,
bro. Rest in
yeah.
peace, Stuart Scott.
Yeah, that was that
Bumbling,
dude.
bumbling, stumbling,
Yo, that was that dude.
cooler than the other side of the pillar. He had a bunch of them, bro.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
His puns, yes.
And we
Those
say
guys'
rest in
puns.
peace. And yo, rest in peace to my man Beige. Just passed away yesterday, man.
Salute, man.
Man, salute, man. Rest in peace, man. I love you, man.
You know, getting back to Sound's point earlier when we was debating or having situations talking about how it was just as many or more murders and killings in the late 80s and early 90s than it is now, it is Sound countered with the fact that, you know, death is never easy and it's never acceptable, but if you making $10,000 a week and somebody encroaches upon your territory and now you're only making $5,000 a week, and y'all can't negotiate that in a way that both parties feel beneficial, I don't agree with, but I could understand why violence would come and somebody would have to die. But sticks and stones supposed to break my bones. Names ain't never supposed to hurt me. Because you diss my dead friend on Instagram, and as much as I love my dead friend, I know my dead friend made you have other dead friends, and that come with the game.
Right.
So I'm going to kill you now because it's like, where's the money?
That's what I'm
Where-
saying.
where's
That's
the
why
money?
this
Y'all,
is
y'all,
worse to me.
y'all crash test dummies.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even have money for bail, for your lawyers. You know what I'm saying? You got to think organizationally. In the 80s and the 90s, cats was getting money, bro.
Right.
They was getting money. And not only were they getting money, they was sharing that money in the hood to the point where nobody really wanted to snitch on them. Because if you supporting the youth basketball team, if you supporting the youth baseball and football team, if you paying for trips to Great Adventure, you know what I'm saying? People gonna look the other way with your situation because Miss Molly gonna get that crack from somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I don't agree with it, but I'm just telling you what it is. So to go from that to I'm popping a cat for reputation, or I'm popping a cat because he killed my man, or just for likes on Instagram, or because I'm high off perks or Xannies and somebody bumped into me and smudged up my Timbs, and I don't have the conversation or the communication skills to diffuse the situation, and I'm too prideful or egotistical to take an L, and I'm not looking at it like shooting this nigga ain't worth missing my family for the next 10, 20 years.
It's
you-
just,
you
you
know
know
what
what's
it-
crazy?
It's
Just right now, I look at it like now when we came up, we always Philly is a bid city. Like we always will be bidding and shit, busting on each other, talking shit, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like now it's like bidding become like a deadly game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like now niggas is bidding to the point where they taking it to the it's no filter. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, but yo, see, but I understand what you're saying. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off, Sam. But I'm gonna tell you, man. Listen, they set us up, man. They set us up because when you look at this, right? When you look at it, like coming up through the years, when we was coming up as young bucks. When we was young bucks, we had recreation centers to go to. We had pals to go to, run ball, play pool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? Chill out with your homies. Sometimes some girls came through. I know the courts I went to, the recreation center I went to. Girls came through there too because they had little ballet classes and stuff like that for them to do, and you know what I mean, they had checkers and pool and
Right.
all kinds of stuff for them to do. I was downstairs running ball, but you know what I'm saying, they closed all those joints, man. They closed all the
On
pals
purpose.
on
On
purpose They closed the piles. They closed the recreation centers. So you ain't got nowhere to go to in the evening time when it get cold and stuff like that. But, right after school or something like that, and then you can shoot on home before your mom or your dad come home or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they messed us up, man. You know what I'm saying? Then the internet, man. The internet really killed it because when you had that pandemic, the kids missed out on school. So all those kids that from third and fourth grade on down, who was trying to learn how to read, they really suffering now because they really set back. And we've been set back for years. I got friends that work in the school district. You know what I'm saying? They be telling me, like, yo, Pac, man, I'm telling you, we are so far behind. It's ridiculous because the kids don't even know how to even communicate anymore because they so stuck up on social media. They can't even socialize with each other.
Man, listen, bro. I'ma have to delve into that because what the good brother Pat was talking about, I've been dealing with since 1996. The first job I had coming out of college was substitute teacher. Bieber, Brooke, Julio de Burgos, Bartram, Strawberry Mansion, Douglas, Fitzsimons, Vaux. I could keep going on and on. And funny how I just started talking about the school situation and they blacked me out. Ain't that crazy?
Right.
We've been talking about other stuff the whole time. As soon as we start talking about the schools and getting deep, Instagram won't block me out.
We
It's
start
crazy,
talking, only
man.
talk about the rumbling and things we've been
Killings
through.
and everything.
You know what I'm saying? That's all cool
That's
to
cool.
enjoy.
But now- I
got a question.
Yeah.
What you got, Tua? What you got?
Well, I mean, it's starting to get a little late, but I did want to hear about these freestyle skills you got there, bro.
Oh man, definitely,
And-
definitely,
And
definitely.
I was wondering,
You got a little beat.
you know what I'm saying,
We go back and forth. Start him up.
So talk about what head
Oh
so.
man, listen,
if
bro.
we can,
Listen, bro. I'm ready. That's what I do. The official, cool steady beat, hilltop, and I'm down to the gristle. I'm crooked like a cowboy rapper with a whistle. I'm
Damn.
old school Denver Nugget, Dan Issel,
Let's get it.
Alex English, in a jersey, in a hotel 42 on James Worthy.
What?
I'm sorta nerdy, I'm sorta cool. FWL, never been a fool. West Catholic demographic, my tactics in my school.
Let's get it.
I'm not black, I never smoke crack, ask anybody. I used to sack the quarterback, white people, though I'm legal, ain't nobody equal. I smoke marijuana on St. Rose Steeple. That's the church, the
That's
bombs
right.
will burst.
Yeah.
You bring Sir Adam's family like lurch.
Come on.
You could search for somebody, lottie-dottie, slick Rick at the potty. I catch a bitch when I catch a body. The nose is hot, the nose getting snotty, but not with the coat. Rock him, nigga, I ain't no joke. I want the gun smoke. Up in my jail cell, I never got hope. Escalated in the projects, damn, I'll be broke. Tomorrow I get a check and I'm not. I'm old school, I call gas fucking hot. Marijuana, I got the honor. What's happening? Rerun like my mama. DJ Drama, Cosby Kev. No bed, bugs in my bed. I spit hot shit, I spit hot lead.
Yeah.
I'm like motherfucking stab, but I don't rap. I got the cheese, hilltop hustler, B&E's like winners, I'm gonna squeeze. I never caught AIDS or no sexual disease.
What?
More park sausages, mom, if you please. Hold up, but I don't eat no glizzy.
Let's go.
Famous with steaks and the cheese.
Yeah.
Hilltop hustler, I'm B&E's. I'm a chief rocker, kick like soccer. Always in my cups, we drinking vodka.
Yeah.
Y'all was E&J, or maybe he's Jesus. I never catch no diseases. You say it's urgent jerky. You cannot hurt me. I'm hotter than Mexico or Albuquerque.
So I'm talking about my
I told
nigga.
you, bro, freestyle.
Yeah,
That's my shit.
I see you, bro. That's that Philly shit, boy. You know what I'm saying? Philly got the hottest spitters. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where you from. You know what I'm saying? We hold it down, man. Hold it down. Freestyle with the bars, man.
Like, if we was around gangsters and I would have been on a top, like,
I'm a
my
top-
rhymes would have been directed more.
How much time we got, though? How much time we got? Because that got me hype. I want to roll up.
You
You know what I'm saying?
And listen, I
We
apologize,
really,
man,
really
because
right here,
right?
I
Yeah, we really
overslept,
here.
man. I'm supposed to be here at 12 o'clock. I overslept, man, so I apologize to the
It really
people,
did,
man.
so-
We gotta
Hopefully,
bring- we
you know,
gotta
I can
bring
come
him back, man.
more.
Yeah, you come
Because
back.
there's more things I really wanted to talk about. I
Yeah,
didn't
we
get a...
gonna make it where, you know what I mean, like we trying to set it up where we can have like You could be. You don't have to necessarily be on camera. You could be like
A
in the
caller
audience.
in the
Just start. You
audience.
could be right here. You could be with us smoking, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Or like on Drake Champs.
Yeah,
When they have
exactly.
people
You
in
come
the
through,
audience.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Long-
Chime in and you know,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah, we gonna make this thing right.
It's,
man.
it's so many things that I wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That we didn't, or we kept talking
yeah.
and we didn't get back to the
Well,
point.
we're not there. We still here though. You still got your joint right there. We still here though.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. We gonna get that right. 'Cause you know they hated on us right there.
No,
You gotta have some loyalty right
just-
there. Soon as you start to bring out that truth, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
man,
So
you know,
and talking
and-
that love for your brother.
It happens to me all the time. That's why I was no longer on 97.5 from like 2009 to 2011. I was on there, you know what I'm saying? Like me, John Marks, Phil from Mount Airy, Tim McManus, all these people is doing great things on ESPN, the station now. Like I see Tim McManus is like the Eagles reporter. He in and out the locker room,
yeah.
travel. Me and Tim McManus did the World Series post-game show.
Wow.
When the Phillies played the Yankees in 2009, I did every post-game Phillies show. Like I really was, people that know me know I was really on 97.5 FM. I'm part of the reason it went from AM to FM because they realized that, hey, we got all these white folks talking about 98% African American athletes. We need some African Americans to talk. But they didn't want to get the regular Brian Westbrooks and Trent Coles and Hugh Douglases. No disrespect to them dudes. None of them is really from Philly. They come here to play football.
Right.
They're football players. They're
Right.
not Philadelphians. I'm a Philadelphian. I'm a walking, talking, living, breathing example of what a Philly nigga is. So you put me on the radio and I'm intelligent and articulate so I can talk. So that shit flew, bro. They got me, they got Phil from Mount Airy, and we went from 95.0 AM to 97.5 FM. And then they put me on every weekend. It was called the Rice and Gravy Show. Me and John Marks. Rice and Gravy rock the town, and we are never phony. We will shoot these shots on radio like Andrew Toney. Bars. that was the introduction. You know what I'm saying? So from 8 to 12, every Saturday and Sunday, we would have a show. And whenever the Eagles played at 1 o'clock, we would be the lead-in for the Eagles show. And the greatest show I remember was the day we played Minnesota when Michael Vick had the MVP year and the game got snowed out. And then we had to play Minnesota on a Tuesday night, and they had the black quarterback named Joe something.
Joe Webb.
Joe Webb. And they beat us. And we went into the playoffs messed up and lost to Green Bay in the first round.
I remember.
We had the best team in the NFL that year. That was when Michael Vick was running crazy. They had the Miracle at the Meadowland with the Sean Jackson.
Yeah.
After we
Wow.
sat down in Washington.
Yeah,
Wow.
so you know, they actually brought me on the radio because of Michael Vick because I was a pit bull owner. And when Michael Vick was going through what he was going through, I would constantly call the radio station defending his position. Like, Mike, you got another chance when you strangle Howard Eskin on WIP. Why Mike can't get another chance? Yeah, I would say stuff like that, and they really was on that type
Some
time.
real shit.
Yeah.
You could potentially either reach out or create our version of that show again and bring it back.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like going forward, we need to, you know what I mean?
All right,
Like,
fellas.
we
We'll talk. That's
Check.
off camera, man. That's
Check,
off camera,
check.
we
man.
about to get that
Yeah,
back.
man.
We gotta we need to throw some handles out there
You
though.
gonna make it pop?
We throw some handles out there.
Yeah,
We got
man.
your Instagram.
Oh, yeah, man.
Pack
yeah,
Money
man.
215, man. I got to go, handle some business, man.
Yeah, man. OG Buzzle 60 on Instagram and Joseph Banks on Facebook. I don't have a Twitter yet. People keep telling me I should get one, but I've never been a Twitter dude. But like I said, OG Buzzle 60. That's my Instagram, and Joseph Banks on Facebook.
And I'm Gang War 215. You know what I mean? That's on the
And-
gram. And Blunts in the Basement. Blunts, the letter N, B-A, Basement on YouTube. Come holler at us. Come smoke with us. Come be a part of it.
And T-Dub National Underground. We out of here, y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Light it up, light it up. Light it up, light it up.